Hi, I'm Mike Hamilton. I'm over here at Lithia Toyota Redding, California. Behind me, a vehicle I have not ever reviewed. This is a 2021 Toyota Sequoia in the Platinum trim level. I'll be right back. Alright, so let's go over this vehicle here. Virtually unchanged. This vehicle, since this generation started in about 2007 and a half, it was quite advanced for its day. Not so much anymore, but change is coming. Looks like 2023 is when we're going to have a new Sequoia. Going over the front here, they have done some small things to it. Here we have our Toyota safety sense in here, so we do have adaptive cruise control, smart stop, lane departure, steer assist are all part of this. Pre-collision, they've done some LED accent lighting, some LED lights on here. Again, this would be in the same size class as, say, a regular Tahoe, not the extra long Tahoe, but again, a normal size Tahoe here. This paint on here is known as Blizzard Pearl. And we have parking sonar here, as you can see on the front of the vehicle, and there's also parking sonar on the rear. Sequoia rims are 20 inches, and this is the style we're going to see with the Platinum wheel here. That's Bridgestone tires. This does have a running board here. Then you got some chrome mirror accents for your mirrors, and then your body side molding to protect the vehicle from getting door dings. Running boards across here. This is a push starter proximity key, so keys in my pocket. All I have to do is put my fingers on the notches. They'll lock the car. I locked it. If I want to unlock it, all I got to do is put my hand on the lock handle and it'll open up. That's simple. Then it has roof rack crossbars on top and roof rails there. Fuel capacity is I think is 24 gallons in this thing here. I'd have to double check that, but I believe it's 24. And coming to the back, we have power lift gate, class 4 tow with 4 and 7 pin plugs. Again, our parking sonars. There's a backup camera on here. The fob key has a picture for the hatch. You just hold it for 3 seconds. And now we have a power lift gate. And then all the stuff's trying to fall out of it. And then tall enough for me to stand under this at 6'2". Kind of what I call an umbrella lift gate, so it protects you from the rain when you're getting stuff out of here. It does have rear entertainment, so our Bluetooth wireless headphones are in here. It's offering you all-weather floor mats, all-weather cargo liners in the back, and this does have power folding third row there, which I'm not going to demonstrate because I have to pull all this stuff out of here, but it does work. And then they have cool stuff like storage and things, and lots of cup holders and things and stuff for the kids to put their toys and other things that they want to bring on road trips in here. Alright, let me close this here. So up on top we have our roof rack crossbars. We have our shark fin for our GPS here, for Safety Connect, for our SOS, for satellite radio. It's all part of this vehicle. Coming over to the passenger side, again, this pearl paint, it's really beautiful in the sun. It glistens in the sun there. Platinum badging is all in chrome. We got Sequoia in chrome. In the back here, Vehicle is powered by a 5.7 liter V8. It makes 381 horsepower, 401 foot-pounds. Tow capacity is about 7,000 or slightly over that, depending on the configuration of the vehicle. Really large seats in the back here. We got some wood grain accents and real leather in here. We're going to have all kinds of controls. Again, we got rear entertainment here. This has heated seats for the middle row here. We got storage, center console of their own here. Their own volume controls for plugging in for their for audio, and a 100-watt inverter here for electronics or whatever else. They have a thing for video game consoles to play their video games on the screen up here, and Blu-ray DVD player in this here. JBL synthesis stereo, which is old but still a good stereo, one of the best Toyota builds, and I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. We have window shades for the babies here, which are nice. Turn signal indicators in your mirrors here, and blind spot monitors, all available to this vehicle. Me sitting in the back here, it's tons and tons of leg room here. I got about 6 inches of knee room with the seat back for where I would have sat in this vehicle, so where I was sitting in the vehicle. We got air vents on the ceiling here, again air controls here in the center console here for the middle row passengers. Gigantic expansive front seats. Just give you a better look from the back seat to take a look at that. And then tons of room back here. Again, the third row laying down, but lots of room for your stuff when the row's laying down, and room for up to 7 passengers. This is again proximity key, so I'll just put my foot on the brake, push start button. Again, well, we got some nice features in here. This is power telescopic steering wheel, so that's somewhat of a rare item in the Toyota world to have that. It's reserved to the highest product that they sell to have power telescopic steering. Something you'll find in a Venza, find in the Platinum in 1794 Tundras, and then also in this Sequoia he'll have it. They also have to do power folding mirrors, so mirrors don't get clipped when you're in a parking spot. Then we have our driver's information center here, and this gives you a variety of different information, so I'll work through that there. Fuel economy, massive 5.9 miles a gallon, and that's probably not too far from the truth on this vehicle. I mean, this thing loves to sip gas. It only got 19 miles on it, but I mean 12-13 miles a gallon is doing good in this. I think it's the EPA's got this at 13 cities, 17 highway, 14 combined. Definitely something that's going to change in the next generation, as I believe they're going to V6 with turbos and hybrid systems to increase the mileage and try to get over 30 miles a gallon, as the laws are changing, and that's going to be required by 2025 is what I've heard. But we have our trip information on this one here. This is our digital miles per hour, fill to empty. Then you get your, of course, your analog gauges in here. So you're going to get your tachometer, your speedometer, your fuel temperature, oil and voltage meters are all in here. Coming over to the next screen here, we have our compass coordinates, and then we have our Sirius XM radio. That's tells you your audio system here. Your lane departure screen here. So those lines will light up as the camera sees those lines at 32 miles an hour and above. If you're to stray out of your lane, it's going to alert you that you're leaving your lane and slightly steer correct you. I don't believe this has the lane tracing on it. It's got the really, really basic Toyota safety sense. Corollas have like 10 times the safety sense as this thing does. But at least a few features with smart stop and pedestrian detection and auto dimming high beams are all on here, so you could do auto dimming high beams, part of the Toyota safety sense. And then we have no messages, so if there was an issue with this vehicle, it's going to tell you what's going on with this vehicle by putting the message on this screen. We got one screen. This just gives us our small amount of Toyota Safety Sense, we have lane departure alert. Pre-collision, yeah, it says LTA if it has a lane tracing, so this only has the alert, not the trace. Pre-collision, so if it speeds up to 110 miles an hour, feels you're going to collide with another vehicle, it's going to go into a brake mode and slow you down by 30 miles an hour. It does the same with pedestrians up to speeds of 50 miles an hour. Last screen, again, we're going back to the eco screen there, and gives us our digital miles per hour. Let's go back into zoom out. We have a kind of this bird's eye maple look here. So soft touch, real leather materials. This bird's eye maple, which is, it's in, not a real, but it looks pretty good. Looks high quality. We have our leather wrap steering wheel here. We have all our controls for our radio, our push to talk for the Toyota system, or Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And this side does the toggle for the driver's information center I was just showing, and then there's your lane departure alert and your adaptive cruise control there, and then all our other controls around the steering wheel. This screen here is tiny and needs to grow. It's like they really didn't do much to it. It had I'm telling you, like the one it used to be in, this was like, they used to have the same one in the Yaris. So, which they don't build the Yaris anymore, which was really the base model of Toyota, where you could get one Toyota with discounts sometimes around 14 something. So they had the same infotainment screen in a Yaris as they had in this $70,000 Sequoia. They've upgraded the screen. It's really not any bigger though. It's like a 6-inch screen. It's a little bit better high def. You have the integrated maps on here with satellite updates, so it doesn't carry a hard chip anymore. So that's a nice feature, but again, it's tiny. You get a 2 inches more screen on a Corolla, and get some of the Camrys have a 10-inch screen, and then you get into some of the other SUVs. You have up to a 12.3-inch screen in a Highlander and the Venzas. So very, very tiny, and something that definitely needs to get addressed into the next generation of this vehicle. Back to home screen, this is known as a 3-panel. We have our Sirius XM radio, our phone information when the phone's connected, and half our maps. Sirius XM is a trial subscription, good for 90 days. After that, you could pay for it. It's really cheap, like $60 a year is what I've been paying, something like that. But this still has a very good system here. It's not the best one. The Venza does have a 1200 watt system, but this is still a really good system that's still available for a Toyota vehicle. I'm going to tell you, that is super clear and crisp compared to some of the other higher end stereos that Toyota has. Very traditional Toyota knobs here. All these silver knobs is something they carry throughout Tundras and Sequoias, and you'll see that in the Land Cruisers. That's going away. Hopefully we'll get a new Land Cruiser here. This has both heated and ventilated seats. I have this on ventilated high right now. It's about, well, it's cooling down 81, but it was 85, and then 3-stage heated, 3-stage cooling. That's really nice. And then there's 3 climate zones in this here. You have his and hers in the front, and then in the climate zone for the back there. So this turns on the air for the back. We have our 4-wheel drive selector on here, and then we get some controls here. We got center diff lockers, and then this is one of the cool things, something that's also in the Land Cruisers, is the ride mode. So you got a comfort mode, a medium, and a sport mode for a stiffer mode. And then we have buttons for our power lift gate. There's our rear window slider. This is proprietary to Toyota, so only Toyota's got this in some of their SUVs and their Tundra, but this whole thing rolls down. Nobody else has that. Really cool for the puppies. They love that. Put their heads out there and have some air while they're in the back there chilling while you're going out on nice family trips. And then let's come across this dash, everything up here. Well, actually, that's pretty hard, actually. So still using hard plastics and not soft touch materials. A little bit of disappointment again. There's some soft touch here, but hard here. A lot of stuff that needs to get upgraded. So they did a little bit of kind of upgrading this with tech, but not really upgrading much anything else. Not trying to make this more luxurious and really get to the level of the money you're spending on this vehicle. We're going to get down here a little bit lower here. We have pockets for storage, lots of cup holders. So we have small cup holder, 2 giant cup holders. There's like 2 more bottle holders in the door. Big storage console with change holders. You could get a gentleman's safe for these things, which is really cool. There's another power port in there. And then you have your primary port for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a couple of USB ports, another power port down here. Then you got your gear shifter here with that bird's eye maple look again with the leather wrap in the front. And then you have a 6-speed transmission with sequential shifting, so we could put it in sequential. So if I'm towing, I can shift these gears individually, as you see it moving up through the gears up through 1 through 6 speed here. Something else Toyota has been taken care of on a lot of new vehicles, or whatever this was about. Something with the transmission, how it shifts. Now it's just like straight up and down, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about, like on a lot of the vehicles now, like shifting around like a horseshoe. So that's something that's changed in the newer vehicles. Toyota's redesigning with the new TNGA platform. So coming up to the top here, we have a special button. This is known as the SOS button. The SOS button is for emergency services. So if you're ever in an accident where airbags deploy, the vehicle will alert the call center. They'll be reaching out to you, see if you need help. They'll know your GPS coordinates and know how fast you're going at the time of accident. Also, you can push that if you're in an emergency. Also does roadside assist and stolen vehicle locator. Tech support are part of this too, for the SOS. And on the top, we have both a moonroof and a sunroof, so it opens up all the way, or you could just lip it open. All right, again, I'm Mike Hamilton over here at Lithia Toyota, Redding, California. Antiquated, but still super reliable, still super popular, has a kind of a real niche market to it. Not very fond of like how high I sit in this. It does feel good to like sit up this high, and you can see over the hood really well, but I feel like I'm not that super tall, and if somebody is actually a little bit taller, 6'2", if somebody's like 6'4", especially 6'6", they're going to have some head height issues in here, because I don't have much room. Like with the ceiling dropping down for the sunroof, I maybe got like 1.5 inches here, and I should have a lot more room than that for a 6'2" person. That I'm not like extremely tall by any means, and especially in a big SUV like this. I remember one of my coworkers here one day saying he couldn't fit. His customer couldn't fit in there. I think he said the customer was like 6'10". So now I'm seeing why, because I haven't really thought about it, because I haven't been in Sequoias. I don't sell them very often. But yeah, like if you're tall, you're going to have an issue in this vehicle. But you need a vehicle that's super reliable, could tow quite well, hauls the family around. I mean, the great thing about a Sequoia is its reliability and also its resale. So these things virtually don't break down. The engine doesn't run hard. They're not good on gas, so that's also an issue, and that's something Toyota's got to address here in the future, because they're going to have to meet the mileage requirements that the government's requiring on new vehicles, and that's why so many things are going to hybrid with Toyota to achieve the mileage requirements that are going to be out there, and also just getting better fuel mileage. So I think everybody's going to want that to save money. So something that now we're going to be looking at with this new 2023 Sequoia. But again, this is a great solution to have a Tahoe sized vehicle that, and as far as economy on one of those are not much better either. So they do carry a little better amenities. I've been in Tahoes, and they are a little more plush than this. Well, no, they're a lot more plush than this if we're looking at an LTZ or something like that. So to pay this money for this, Toyota needs to step up the amenities in this, and we need leather and soft touch materials and big infotainment screens with high definition graphics and everything else that's coming along with today's technology and today's vehicles. But anyways, as far as after that, like they still seem to be extremely popular, and they do quite well as far as we sell them pretty good. We don't get a bunch of them. They're not a high seller for Toyota. Our market doesn't have a lot of customers in this bracket for a Toyota, at least. Not that 60 or 70,000 class. I would say our average customers are in the 30s, and than this price range. But that may be one of the reasons why it doesn't move off the shelf as fast as some of the other vehicles too. But they still are popular, and people like them. and I know they're absolutely stupid reliable. I mean, we get 20-year-old ones almost, or almost 20-year-old ones that last 300,000 miles, and you start them up and they're still running like a champ. So I mean, I've had so many of them well over 200,000 miles we've resold. So I can't complain about that part of it. You can't complain about the resale part of it. So if you ever save some fuel, a little bit of fuel on the, like say you got like one of those eco, like the Tahoe's got that new diesel to try to get better fuel mileage. Let's look at your resale after 5 years and that, and then subtract that from the resale of this vehicle, and then we'll see which one actually costs you more money in the long run. I guarantee you the Tahoe is a more expensive vehicle to own in the long run because how much you're going to lose in the resale part of it. So again, thank you for watching my video. I'm Mike Hamilton. See you next time.